And we are live, right?
All right. I got to find your channel.
You don't have my channel up all the time when your channel isn't up and we're not broadcasting on it? I'm so sad. Anyway, hello, I am Corpulent Geek, Adam Dixon, better known as. That's my brother over there. He is Simply Your Device here on YouTube,
yes.
or your underscore device. Make sure you put in that underscore, because you could screw up like I did earlier today and just put your device. And then then someone else who has never tweeted at all will start getting traffic, and that's no good. No one wants that.
You're right. No, we don't want that.
No. Anyway, we're here today just to chit chat about Star Trek Discovery, the new show on CBS. And just to give you a little bit of background, I am a fairly good Trek fan. I have seen all the episodes, so I guess it makes me a really good one, and all the movies, but I don't know all of the minutia. But there's a lot of different things I can be like, that's setting my Trek knowledge tingling. That means something, and then I turn to my handy-dandy friend, the internet, and it straightens me right out. But I am fairly decent at being like, hey, that means something. But I am by no means a encyclopedia of Trek knowledge. And the original series, Enterprise and Voyager are my weakest ones. And Next Gen and Deep Space Nine.
You're referring to the original as in the Kirk.
Correct. That's the original series.
Okay.
TOS, as one might call it.
Their original. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, Michael, where is your Trek knowledge base coming from?
My Trek knowledge is, I remember as a kid watching the TOS.
Watching the TOS.
Yeah, watching the TOS. Yeah.
Nice.
I remember a little bit of watching that. Then the replays on what was back then UHF TV.
Oh,
yeah.
That second dial down.
Yes, that second dial.
Where you could really crank.
Yeah. That was. I remember that. Matter of fact, in this very room here, actually, we're in. Remember? I don't know if it's segue, but we had the TV in here, and right over here was the TV. I remember I'm coming back to my flashbacks.
I'm a little bit worried now because our thing is just scrolling around. Do you have our channel up anywhere where it actually looks right?
It's working. I don't see no lag.
Oh, okay, cool, good. All right, continue.
It's happening.
All right, it's happening.
So
my mic stand is falling off too. All right, take the show, Mike.
Okay. Well, anyway, my other spiel, my other part of this was then I grew up, and playing English. I pretty much grew up, and then got got older, and I caught some of the show. And I remember when the first Star Trek movie came out. I saw that.
Don't grow up. That's your first mistake.
Yeah, I know. Peter Pan, right? Peter Pan would be all the way.
The first Trek movie being the motion picture?
The motion picture. Again, having flashbacks of right over here where it used to be a theater over here at College Town.
Yeah. The Radio Shack is there now, right?
No. The Radio Shack was, you went up, and the Radio Shack, you could see it on your left, and over to the right was the pizzeria. And there was a big alcove, or like an incove, or wherever you want, cove, and you had to walk. So
what's where the movie theater? All right, this is too deep for people.
But anyway, all I remember was V'ger.
Yes. Everyone,
V'ger.
well, yeah.
Yeah. And
not a lot of bald women in cinema.
Yeah,
those days.
yeah. And I watched I could watch whenever I could, when I could, the other show, movies, but I kind of like weaned off of it. And I would catch it, and I would catch it on HBO or whatever. But the ones I like is the new ones with Chris Pine.
The new movies.
The new movies,
okay.
Yes, the movies, and now with the new TV show, I'm watching it because I got the app to watch it. I'm sharing that with you, but that's what we're here to talk about a little bit too.
We are.
Yeah.
So when they had those movies, the new movies with Chris Pine, you didn't have a problem with how much they changed things and how they used time travel to reboot everything. You were okay with that and just took it for what it was. Fun.
I just went for the entertainment value.
All right. That's
good. I wasn't like it did make me go and stop going. But But J.J. Abrams, he was behind that, right?
Yeah.
On the first one, was quite interesting. And
It was the Star Warsification of Star Trek.
Is that what some of them call it?
Yeah, because I mean, it was just a big action adventure thing, and not that it's bad, and it's cool because mashing up two of my favorite things.
Oh, okay. Well, I find it. The second one, was there only two, right, so far?
No, there's been a third one, but that third one didn't really get quite as wide acceptance because it didn't have a Benedict Cumberbatch in it who was recognizable. The third one had Idris Elba in it. One of the most attractive starring men right now. He was a guy in Gunslinger, whatever the.
Oh, okay. That's sad on me because I don't right now. I'm like going, was there a third one? I remember the second one.
And I just almost said a spoiler about it, and I didn't want to.
No,
do that,
no,
so
that's fine. That's fine. I'll catch it on Netflix.
There you go.
Right, I can catch it there. Right. Is it out
no,
right now?
You probably can't because in something I'll talk about in a little bit, like CBS is pulling back all their content, but I don't know if that's
CBS owns that.
I don't know if CBS owns it or Paramount or I don't know. I find it somewhere. You can Google it.
Okay.
Anyway, but you do know that Star Trek Discovery doesn't happen in the same universe as the rebooted movies, though.
No,
it is still in the Prime universe.
Okay, and is it before
TOS.
TOS.
Yes, it is about 10 years before TOS. Let me take a step back just for anyone that might have somehow stumbled across this and doesn't know. CBS is starting up their own online app streaming service, just like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all those other great places.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like the new thing right now.
Yeah, it is. And if you're in the United States, the only way to watch Star Trek Discovery is on their new app. If you're anywhere else in the world, you can watch it on Netflix. So that kind of blows. But, we take what we can. So it's on the streaming service, and they showed the first episode live, hopefully to entice people in. And then it's like $6 or $10 a month, depending on what you're doing. And you get all the different CBS content because they're slowly pulling everything else off of all the other streaming services. So they can just put it all under theirs because they think that people are willing to spend that much for that other content. And I don't know. We'll see how that experiment goes. They seem pleased with the numbers that Star Trek Discovery's been pulling in for them and the number of subscribers that they got. So it starts there.
Is it doing well?
Yeah.
What are you reading? I'm just curious. As a show, it's doing well.
I believe it is. I don't really concern myself too much with that, only to the point where I've seen reports that all the producers and everyone seems to think there will definitely be a second season.
That's the important part. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I look for, and it does seem that that's going to happen.
That's cool.
So the show started, and they did something that's a little bit different in my eyes than usual. They did 2 episodes at the beginning that they released the first week online, and those 2 were kind of like a prologue to show you what happens in the main character's life about 6 months before the series. Oh, also, I guess I should say here that we will be talking spoiler stuff, and at one point, hopefully near the end, I'm going to be talking a big spoiler theory thing with my brother and see if I can get him to buy into a popular theory that's out there about the show right now. So if you really don't want to be spoiled, go buy CBS app, watch the 5 episodes that are out now, and then come back and watch the rest of this. Anyway, so the first 2 episodes were a prologue that showed you what happened in Michael Burnham's human female who was raised by Vulcans. But of course, apparently there's only one Vulcan in the universe, and that Vulcan is Sarek at this stage. So if you were taken in by a Vulcan family, it had to be the Sarek's family.
He's a busy guy, isn't he?
He is a really busy guy. I just don't understand. I don't understand why they had to make it Sarek. That was one of the big tick marks against it at the beginning for me. It was there's so many other Vulcans it could have been. We understand if you're it didn't need that tie-in. This didn't unless maybe they do for some reason coming up that we don't know yet. But I really don't feel like it needed to be Spock's half sister. I mean, we already had a brother that we never knew about in that 5th movie. So how wide and divergent is Spock's family?
Do you referring to the one that was thinking he was God or trying to communicate with God?
He was trying to find God. He had to go to the middle of the galaxy to find God because God needed a starship, and no one understood why.
Right. Okay,
Right.
that one. All right.
Yeah,
I thought
that
that
one.
was that one. All right.
Yeah. So where were we? Oh yeah. So Michael Burnham. There was confrontation with the Klingons. We're not going to go over the whole entire recap because it would just this whole thing would get too long. But in a roundabout way, they end up sparking a war with the Klingons. But the Klingons were totally out looking for war because their main guy is trying to find a way to unify all the Klingons under him specifically. But also he's looking out for the Klingon Empire as a whole. And this episode ends with Burnham having assaulted the captain to try and force a confrontation that she thought was going to benefit the Federation, but that never came to pass. And for some reason, everyone blames her for it, even though nothing that she wanted to do ever really happened. So I don't really understand that. What did you feel about the prologue?
I came away from it like going, what was that?
Yeah, it was
okay. One was no mention about her actions leading up to why she would consider the mutiny, right?
Yeah, like
no, like okay, here's her reason. It was like, oh, you committed mutiny and tough luck. You know, that's how I saw it. And before one more thing. No representation. What the heck are we living in? What kind of society are we living in?
Are you talking about the last scene there at the trial?
Trial, right.
That trial scene was an atrocity to me. It looked like a Klingon trial where everyone was shrouded in darkness and she was up there by herself. I was really hoping that we would come back in episode 3 and that whole thing was going to be like a
bad dream.
Yeah, a dream sequence of hers, and like she was arrested and charged with mutiny and stuff. But like that right there is where we kind of knew that things definitely weren't going to go the regular Star Trek route, and they definitely like showed.
So
that...
they still changed. They still changed, but it isn't the TOS. Like you were saying.
Right? I don't understand exactly how it's supposed to work because this is supposed to be that universe. They didn't necessarily change anything, but of course there's people out there with far greater Trek knowledge than I have. and they probably know for sure that at this stage, though, like Christopher Pike is in charge of the Enterprise, and I don't really think that there's supposed to be a war going on right now, but I don't know. I'm willing to let certain things fly to the wayside,
right?
To let them tell their story, and I'm willing to let them bend time a little bit if they need to for certain things. But I'm far less forgiving when Sarek has to be the only Vulcan around.
Okay.
But yeah, so and I think that they were definitely telegraphing something with how they had Michelle Yeoh was the captain. That's the actress name who was the captain. Georgiou, or however you say her name. I'm terrible with names. I apologize, people. Saru is the only name I really understand because he's awesome. I have a whole other video on that. Look somewhere else on the channel. But yeah, so she was the only character that I felt was like an original series episode character.
Mm-hmm.
Like how she was just, we don't start shooting wars with Klingons, and we're out here to explore. And look, I have a telescope in my ready room, so I'm clearly an explorer. And this show went, and they had a Klingon drive a piece of metal through her heart.
Right.
And they were like, this is what we think of the old Star Trek. This is what it's going to be now. Kajinga. There.
That was the subtle message? Is that what you're suggesting? Oh, okay.
Your old Trek is dead. Here. Long live new morally ambiguous Star Trek.
Okay.
But I was impressed that this show is visually stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Every shot that they do is awesome and incredible to look at. And so they're paying through the nose for those type of shots,
right?
And so at the end of after the prologue episode, when we went on to episode 3, and everything had changed so much, I kind of felt like we were sold a different bill of goods. that I'm like, all right, we're here now with that, and then now we're gonna jump ahead 6 months and see where everything goes. So it was a little bit disquieting and a little weird to try and pick up, but from that point on, I love what they're doing. I love every episode 3, 4, 5 has been getting steadily better in my eyes, and now that I understand that they're not worried so much about the morals, and they're more worried about like the characters and getting things done, and the way Lorca is with his captaincy, that he's out there to win the war, and I enjoy these characters so far. What's been your view of the post prologue episodes in general?
Yeah, the last one was a bit was more entertaining.
Okay.
I did walk away from it going, I have to ask you a question. I'm asking you because I don't know. You said it to me once and I just didn't get it. But what's those things behind that? Saru's.
Those are called threat ganglia, because his species. I still haven't done my deep dive into it yet, but his species apparently on their planet they only have either prey or predator.
Right. I mean, we're talk about that.
And his species was raised kind of like cattle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for them they evolve these threat ganglia to be able to imperceivable danger is when the threat ganglia comes out. You know, there was the one episode where they tried to use their handy dandy spore drive thing, and oops, we pushed the wrong button, and we ended up right outside this sun right here, and we're about to explode.
Right.
People online said like, oh well, why doesn't Saru's threat ganglia come out then? And it's because he can see that they're about to fall into a sun. Those threat ganglia are there. It's kind of like a spidey sense. It's like you're talking and you don't even see the guy coming behind you about to punch you. So when they come out,
that's physically part of him.
Yeah,
that's not like another passenger back there.
No. That's him. Yeah, that's
him. Because I see he kind of does this, you know.
Yeah, because supposedly he's like bashful of them and feels bad when they come out.
Okay.
Because I can kind of understand that too, because you're kind of showing off to everyone. It's like, I'm scared of something. Where I say that all the time inside my head, but it never comes out.
Right. You don't have like things sticking out of the back of your head saying, I'm scared right now.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right. So his threat ganglia, what brought that about?
Try to understand. I got them point a little bit. It would come out, but it would come out in conversation. I think he was having a conversation with Michael.
Yeah, because see, that's been a big thing that he perceives. His brain perceives her as a threat.
So as much as he tries to be nice, it comes out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, also in that last episode, we saw that he. All right. Saru is the
captain.
No, the first officer.
Okay, I don't know.
Saru was captain the last episode because Captain Lorca got captured.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, he at the end of the episode, he like kind of patched things up with Burnham because he had always looked forward to the time when he was going to be able to learn from Captain Giorgio. Because she was such a good captain, and so he was like jealous of that she swooped in and got that first officer spot.
I got that.
And then also couldn't defend the captain well enough and got her killed. So like there was something in the brain perceiving her as a threat that she's going to take away more things from him. I think that's why that was there. But hopefully that will stop happening now that he has addressed those feelings with her. And hopefully they're on their way to patching things up and being more brother and sister again. Because
they were chums, weren't they?
Yeah, they were chums. Well, chums in the brother-sister type of way, because I love that scene when they were scanning, trying to figure out whatever was out there, the sarcophagus ship, and they like nudged each other out of the way at that console.
Yeah.
Like she comes in and invades the space, so that was good. But, excuse me. Yeah, so your general feel on these last one, you were more entertained by
the very last one I just saw with the spore creature, and then when that one guy, the engineering guy, stepping in to get, that whole thing, that the whole storyline was
so
entertaining.
They showed that not everyone there is morally bankrupt.
Right.
That they have this new drive system that they call it a spore drive that can get them to basically teleport themselves anywhere in space that they want to go. But they didn't have a way of making that work without inflicting pain on this creature, and the creature is the one that can actually use that network.
And not to, can I talk about the ending? I don't want to spoil it.
Well, let's save that.
Okay.
We will definitely talk about that because I got no problems talking about that. But yeah, so they did show that because different characters were recognizing that it was hurting them, and Saru, who was in charge, was like, I don't care that it's hurting him. We need to use him to get the captain back. Because what I liked was at one point, a couple episodes ago, when Burnham was first on the ship and like going to become a permanent member on the ship, Saru confronted her about stuff, and like he ended the conversation saying, I can guarantee you that I will protect my captain better than you protected yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's always about that type of protection, and so he wasn't going to let anything get in the way of him rescuing his captain Lorca. Even though I don't know if I've ever seen more than one scene of Lorca and Saru talking, but that's a whole other tangent. Yeah, so they did use the tardigrade, it's called, to the point of near death, where it like went into like a coma-like state, but they figured out a way around it by Stamets, the spore drive chief engineer, not the ship's chief engineer, because that's someone else, who we've never met before. And he figured out a way to be able to inject yourself with some of the tardigrade.
Well, they were talking
goodness.
about a host. And as soon as they said host, I'm like, going, well, somebody's going to be a guinea pig. One of those people in that.
Someone was going to be a guinea pig.
Right. So
I thought for sure it was going to be Burnham.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, right up until... And so the thing ends and Saru orders Stamets to hook the creature up to the spore drive so they can get the heck out of Dodge. And he doesn't do that. He injects himself with the good juice. But right up until they went into that engineering, I thought for sure it was going to be Michael Burnham laying there.
Yeah, no.
In that thing.
No.
You saw that it was going to be the science dude
actually,
the whole time?
And here's another one is another. You like that?
Woohoo!
The cadet. I thought it was going to be
the
cadet.
Tilly?
Yeah,
with the red hair.
But I think the cadet. There's more to this cadet chick too. I wonder.
Oh well, all right. Let's diverge. Let's take that road in the woods and diverge for a minute.
Right.
If this whole, do you remember? It was on Deep Space Nine. I know. So I don't know how much of that you watched. Have you ever heard the term Section 31?
Believe it or not, yes, but I don't remember too much about it. I just remember that getting thrown around.
They're the super secret. They're like the Illuminati CIA for the Federation. They like secretly run everything and have all this crazy good technology.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are saying that this Discovery is essentially like a branch of Section 31. I'm not 100% sure when Section 31 was supposed to start. I'm pretty sure it was on Enterprise for a little bit, so I guess back then. But there were a ton of people that were saying that at the least, well, no, at the most, Discovery is a branch of Section 31. And I personally think that may not be the case, but if that's not the case, then Tilly is clearly a spy for Section 31.
See, she's too squeaky clean. She comes off that way. And then that's what I was placing her going, okay, she's going to step in because she has some kind of clearance and she knows about this stuff and she was waiting for everybody. She's waiting for all the, do all the work and do all the stuff for and then she was going to step in and go, here's my badge. I got this.
I don't know if I thought that, but maybe she just looks so squeaky clean because everyone else looks so dirty. That could be part of the thing. All right, so Stamets at one point let Saru know, like, hey, we have this magic juice that we can inject in someone and they can be the host and get them there. And since they're willing to go where we want to go, it shouldn't be as detrimental. And Saru threw up about that. No, that's eugenics. You can't do that kind of stuff. Changing people's DNA and changing their genes. And that's going to become important in something that we talk about in a little bit. But I just need to, since we were talking about it right then, throw that out there. So where were we with stuff? Was there anything else you wanted to mention before we moved on?
No, move on. I just the show though. Yes, the last show that I just saw with the guy shooting the stuff and saving the ship and all that stuff. I did walk away going, okay, well this is entertaining. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's talk about that ending first, and then we'll wrap this up with my big spoilery theory that may be too crazy.
Okay.
All right. So what happened at the ending that you remember?
Well, it's obvious that what's the engineering guy's name?
Stamets.
Obviously, that he has been touched, touched by a certain way of this juice flowing through him, and he has.
What happened that let you know that?
Well, the mirror. His image stayed in the mirror.
Ah, it did.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of a little vampire there, too.
All right,
vampires, you can't see their image.
Yeah, that's right. It's the exact opposite of a vampire.
Yeah.
All right, this is everyone's last chance, all the thousands of people watching this, to tune out now if you don't want spoilery type stuff. And actually, you're okay with spoilery type stuff, right?
Let me have
it. Talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a while ago, Jonathan Frakes, who played number 1 in Next Generation, he let a little bit of a spoiler loose that has actually been confirmed by, I don't even remember who, but someone on Star Trek Discovery confirmed it, that there will be episodes dealing with the mirror universe from the original series. Do you remember that mirror universe when Spock had a goatee and it was evil Spock?
Yeah.
And everyone.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is I believe what we saw at the end of that episode. I don't understand exactly how it's all translating, because with the mirror, like, they never saw anything like that. But it's definitely a little bit of a drop in there. And I'm hopeful that this is the way that they find to extricate the spore drive out of the plot line. Because there's no way that this show can go on very long with us having a ship that could just teleport anywhere. And also, like, they're starting to be able to reproduce the drive now on multiple other ships. That's what the admirals were saying before Lorca got caught. That like, they had the schematics for everything. Now they had everything worked out. All we had to do was find more tardigrades. Oh, well, guess what? We don't even need tardigrades anymore. We got the magic juice.
Yeah.
So now it's like, the whole Federation can just teleport wherever they want. They have to find a way to remove that from the storyline, basically because we've never heard of it before. So it had to be something where, like, the Discovery is the only ship that has it now that successfully used it. But, oh no, for us to be able to use it, we either need a tardigrade or this magic juice, and this magic juice makes everyone go crazy and or go to the alternate universe.
So was that the alternate universe showing through?
I don't know. That guy looked pretty sinister there, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He looked super sinister.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that actor in that role there, he seemed evil to me many different times. But he also seems really cool at times. And he's like, oh, I wanted to talk to the mushrooms.
Yeah.
But then he finally got to talk to the mushrooms.
He was also a little bit of a jerk at times.
Yeah, but really, really smart people tend to be that way. Which is why I'm such a fun-loving and nice guy. Because I'm dumb.
I was going to say something. I'm going to think of something.
Good hill. Anyway. Yeah, so I definitely feel that was the mirror universe, like, their first dropping of hints of it. And a lot of people are saying that there have been many other hints already with when Michael Burnham first got her uniform and they had that mirror hologram thing in her room. They're like, oh, they're doing all kind of mirror imagery. And I'm like, you guys are looking way too deep into this stuff.
Okay.
At least that one. How this episode started was with Burnham having that dream of her being in the tardigrade chamber and on the control side. I was hoping that was somehow an allusion to the mirror universe, that she was like, those were both Burnhams in one of the universes, and like one of them was the evil one and one was the good one. Or maybe the good one's in the other one, and we have the evil one. I don't know. Anyway,
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. The bad one's already been out.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, all right. So, since we're talking about wackadoo theories, and I even have notes that these ones are so wackadoo that I want to look at real quick and just make sure I haven't missed pointing out anything, because I brought up the eugenics stuff. And all right. So the first time that Burnham meets with Captain Lorca. And they're in the ready room, his darkened ready room, because he has this eye problem.
Yeah.
Do you remember any Easter eggs from old original series episodes?
Damn it, I missed it, huh?
Well, you definitely didn't. You just probably forget that you heard the tribble in the background trilling.
Oh, no. They were there? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that was the Easter egg?
Well, I mean, for certain people, yeah. Well, that's just the one I'm just refreshing your memory about, because see, obviously you've forgotten.
But no, I remember. I'm like, oh, look, tribbles. That's cute. They brought them back. That's how I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay, that was something I just recognized. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So we have those tribbles, and we have eugenics going on in the background. And so this past week, Lorca was captured, and he was tortured by L'Rell, the female Klingon. Who was in the earlier episodes. Did you recognize that was supposed to be L'Rell? Because the first time I watched it, I didn't recognize, and I'm hearing that a lot from online of people, that woman that tortured Lorca is the same Klingon that was with the albino Klingon earlier in the series.
I kind of lost track of a little bit of these Klingons.
Yeah, right now there's basically like three main Klingons. There's an albino, Klingon. You remember the albino Klingon, right?
Right, but wasn't it that in the torture ship too?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh, is it he?
The albino was a dude, a male Klingon. There was the female L'Rell with him on the sarcophagus ship, and then that other Klingon Cole, I think, came. The albino's name is Voq, by the way, VOQ. Cole came and took Voq's ship, and just by feeding people. I don't fully understand how all that worked out, but this will be too long if we delve into that too. So he got all them, but L'Rell found a way to save Voq's life by transporting him, by convincing Cole to leave him behind, and then she at the last minute transported out also to be with him on the Shinzao.
Yeah, the damaged, destroyed ship.
Right. So when last we left L'Rell and Voq, they were there, and that was about 3 weeks ago in Star Trek Discovery time.
Okay.
That's when that happened. So within 3 weeks, L'Rell got herself in charge of a prison ship.
Yeah, okay. So that's why I was like wondering, where'd she come from?
That also just managed to be smart enough and with it enough to find a way to capture Captain Lorca, and so that was pretty lucky that they managed to pull that off and have the knowledge base.
Weren't they in Federation space?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't see Lorca taking a shuttle around in Klingon space. That's what I'm saying. That wouldn't be advisable. So they, well, it was probably like one of the raiders came and got them. Like a smaller ship came and got him. That prison ship didn't go there.
Right. But still, I'm like, how did they know the captains was flying by?
But the main thing that I want to bring up is, do you remember the original Star Trek episode with the Tribbles in it?
Was that with mud?
Trouble with Tribbles? No, that didn't have mud in it.
No, it didn't?
I'm almost certain it didn't. No, it had another guy that was like Mud Light, or Mud slightly older and not with a twirly mustache.
Mud Light?
Yeah.
Did you say Bud Light?
Mud Light, yeah, I did. I didn't even think about it. But that was Miller Light anyway. Yeah. So, but anyway, in that Trouble with Tribbles episode, the whole thing hinges on the fact that there's a planet that the Klingons and the Federation are like sparring over, and the Federation has a claim on it right now. But if they can't get the shipment of quadratriticale, there safely, and they won't be able to provide food for their colonists, so they will have to abandon their claim there, and then the Klingons would get it. And so what happened was a Klingon agent had himself surgically altered to look like a human, and he poisoned all the grain.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Do you remember this episode?
Now
now?
coming back to me, especially the agent and the poison of
all the tribbles fall on him, and the doctor's like, "Oh no, all these tribbles are dead," and everyone's like, "Yay," because tribbles are awful when in that mass quantities. But is your memory keying on how they figured out who the Klingon was? That there was a Klingon in disguise. It was because the tribbles that were alive, whenever the Klingons came around, they freaked the F out.
Right.
And this human-looking dude passed by in front of them and freaked out. And Bones gets out his handy-dandy tricorder and is like, "Oh, yeah, this guy here is a Klingon." So we've already established that they know how to make people look human who were Klingons. And when L'Rell and Voq were leaving, L'Rell told Voq that I have a way. I'm going to take you to the matriarchs, and we have a way that we can work the long plan for this. But you're going to need to I forget exactly what she said. It was either lose everything that you are or change everything that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that new crewman, Ash Tyler, that escaped with Captain Lorca. You remember the other Federation guy that was in the cell with Mudd? There were three of them.
He rescued him.
Ash Tyler and Captain Lorca.
He rescued the guy. Yes.
Ash Tyler is Voq. He was changed.
Yeah. Now I remember. Yes, and just as I feel that the cadet's name, I can't remember. Tilly. Is something going on with her?
Yeah.
That guy I didn't trust.
Well, because they even had a little sequence in it early on where Lorca was all like, "You've been here 7 months and you're looking pretty healthy and all. What's up with that? Why aren't you all just a broken pile of bones laying in a corner somewhere?" And
what about Mudd? Why how come Mudd didn't give him up?
Well, because
unless he would just put in that cell moments at the same time.
Well, no, they definitely knew each other. Mudd and Ash knew each other, but Ash could have been there like a week beforehand, and so they've had some kind of a week beforehand undercover as Ash as a Federation officer, because he was acting like he didn't like him. But we already know that Mudd is already in cahoots with the Klingons.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I don't mean to interrupt. Michael Jr. wrote, "I haven't seen anything. Spoiler alert."
Oh, well, you're going to want to tune out then.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dude, you just want to bail. I'm sorry. Get out.
Thanks for coming in, though.
Yeah, we appreciate the support.
So go ahead. You were saying?
I don't know.
Ash was... So Ash is a Klingon.
Ash is a Klingon. Yes, Ash is Voq. He was either changed just regular surgically, but I don't even think it's that. I think that they changed him genetically, because there's an old story about that in plays, if there is a gun hanging on the wall, that gun is going to get used. I think that one gun that this show hung up on the wall was the throw up and the talk of eugenics. And so I think that Voq was changed on a genetic level to be human.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that they hung up on the wall is that Lorca has a tribble in his room, and that tribble is going to freak the hell out.
Right. Okay.
When he's around, and there's also going to have to be another scene when they go and they meet with Klingons. Now I didn't come up with this theory all by myself, but
you had some help.
Yeah, like there were people online that were saying certain things.
But no, that's good.
It's coming together.
Stuff.
And mainly, like, as soon as I realized that L'Rell was the female that was on the prison ship, we know that something weird's going on. So let me take a quick look to see if there was anything. Oh, but all right, and I like something that they could possibly do anyway with this storyline. If Ash is Voq, then the story after how Lorca said that he killed everyone on his last ship so that they wouldn't have to be captured and tortured and everything. If Ash is Voq, all Ash needs to do now is put the screws to Lorca with respect to living a good life and being happy on the Discovery, and just be like, yo, I'm alive. Life is great. I got rescued. Sure, I had a crappy 6 months there when I was captured, but now I'm alive, and look, I'm serving on another ship. Geez, your whole crew could have been rescued too. It's too bad that you blew them up. So either they could go that route and he could use that as a bit of psychological warfare on him, or if Ash is a human, I hope not, but if he is a human, then like they can still have the plot line of Lorca feeling all torn up about it, about killing his crew and seeing Ash on his ship, and
and that whole storyline with Lorca and his old crew, that's gonna surface off and on.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be something else that goes on with that. So yeah, so there's that, and hopefully we've wrapped up how they're going to get the spore drive off that ship, because that just can't be a thing much longer. Was there anything else you wanted to call out about the show?
Well, let me say this. You said to me November 17th is the last show for the season.
I believe it's something around mid-November. Yes.
So
for this, like, they have a winter break. Every show anymore has what's termed a winter break,
and they come back just after the New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives us how many shows?
Well, there's 9 before the break, and then 6 after, I think.
Wait a minute, 9 before? Huh? No. Between now and the 17th.
4.
4,
I think.
So that's 4 hours of
storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Ain't much. It is much, but ain't much. Well, I mean, what I'm getting at is there's 4 more stories,
right?
But there's also layers of other stories on top of that, like Lorca, like the Klingon being potentially a Klingon being a spy on the ship. How do you think this is going to play out and leave you? What's going to be the cliffhanger?
What's going to be the cliffhanger?
That on hypothetically, you're saying the 17th. Well, we're going to go, oh my God.
Well, the cliffhanger is either going to be them realizing about the mirror universe and that being a thing, and like one or more of them getting sucked into the mirror universe, or it's going to be someone figuring out who Ash is. I'm more siding that the Ash is the season-long arc, or at least deeper into the season arc, and that the mirror universe thing will crop up at that point, at the half-season point, so then that way they can start the resolution of that having to GTFO. Get the F out.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Do you see... let me ask you, you have great insight, but do you see Star Trek Discovery as any kind of movie? Any kind, and I say this in respect of on the big screen or the little one, like on a Netflix or Amazon kind of carry.
Well, I mean,
because you're starting to see movies. What did I saw just recently? That was it The Punisher? Did I see coming on Netflix as just a movie on Netflix?
No, that's going to be a series.
That's going to be a series.
Yeah, that's a whole series like Daredevil and all the rest of the Netflix MCU people. I don't really see it being a movie because they already have the production values of a movie. All that is in place, and they're already spending money. Not fully on like it's a movie, but also the main thing, the other shows of Star Trek were more easily translated to a movie because they were more singular stories. It was like the Monster of the Week, the Planet of the Week, the whatever, so they could have a movie that was this plotline of the week. Discovery is a serialized show, so it's like the same reason why they can't do anything like Game of Thrones wise in a movie or any other of the shows that are serialized like that, because you've got so much. Yes, they could definitely extract it and tell a single story with the movie respect, but I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think that it's that big.
No, I was just curious
to be able to warrant
you're,
that.
You're, and I'm it's not saying it in a smart ass way. Your insight on it is interesting, and that's why I was asking your perspective. I have no clue. I wouldn't like go, I don't know, you know what I mean? But you seem to have a better grasp on this.
Yeah.
You see
I see. It won't be on US Netflix, definitely, because they want to lock all that CBS all access money up. And I like it more than Enterprise, although Enterprise at the end of its run, the finale notwithstanding, was starting to hit on way more cylinders than it was when they had that whole season-long arc when they had to go and find that plan. I don't know. It just all was so convoluted for so much. But then they started figuring it out, and then it got canceled, unfortunately. But yes, I like it way better than Enterprise. And if anything close to these theories that I have are gonna come to fruition, then I am 100% all in on this show, because I love storytelling this way. That's more intricate and has like, you know, the when you go in and someone's trying to figure out the plot thing, and then like a crime, and they have the red yarn pointing between this picture to this piece of evidence over here, and then to this guy, and all like I'm doing that now with this show. So hopefully it will be good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So any last minute thoughts? Anything? We're good.
Nah, I'm just waiting to. I'll if all goes well, I'll have an hour for lunch, and I will definitely be checking it out on Monday.
All right. Well, check it out on Sunday nights. It drops at 8:30 Eastern. I don't know if it drops everywhere at the same time, but I don't need to worry about that because I'm here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. Yes, East Coast 8:30. Hopefully, maybe we'll get in a thing. And I know my wife, who ran out of gas today, but she and I want to do a little breakdown of the episodes. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll have my brother back. Who knows?
Hey, I'm up for it. You know, let's do it.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to cut this off right now before we do the live long and prosper thing, and anyone throws up the Vulcan hand salute. Bye, guys.
Bye. I can't do it. Bye.
All right.